What if tomorrow you woke up and just like that, you had the body you've always dreamed of? Your health was on point, energy levels were high, and your confidence, through the roof. Completely Possible Fitness wants you to know that it's possible to change your life and make your dreams come true. We specialize in weight loss, muscle building, functional training, group exercise, and nutritional advice. Don't let another day go by not having exactly what you want. Contact Copo Fit and let us help transform your life. Copo Fit is on all social media. Do you love drama as much as I do? Plot shifts and heart-pounding turns will keep you enthralled in the new book, Soiled Sheets by Phoenix Ash. Dana and Marshall are drawn to each other, but their flame has a tendency to burn and splinter all that once mattered, quite possibly even each other. Will they make it through the debris or become part of the ruins? Find out when you purchase your copy of Soiled Sheets by Phoenix Ash. Now available via Amazon Books and all Kindle devices. And it's free with Kindle Unlimited.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go. Where Brooklyn at? Where Brooklyn at? Where Brooklyn at?
Well, actually, I live in Delaware now, so does that make me a Delawarean?
Sing it, girl.
You know, Beyonce is my friend in my head. Jay my people sometimes, too.
Yeah. I mean, like, be true, man.
You know, when I was a kid, I had an imaginary enemy. Like, does that make me crazy?
Life as P, presented by Say What Radio.
Hello. Welcome back to Life is P. I'm your host, Phoenix Ash. If this is the first time you're joining me, thank you for joining. I appreciate you. I appreciate you giving us a shot. If you are a repeat listener, you know I love you. Thank you so much for your continued support. It's a lot of you guys now. I'm so happy, so thankful that you guys are really digging the show. If you want to talk to me personally, you can reach out on Twitter. I'm at P Writes. Also on Instagram at P Writes. Sorry if I sound a little congested. I was on the road a lot and I don't know. None of these seasons seem to be working with me and seem to be my friend. But I'm here. I'm alive. I'm doing it. I am getting through the trenches. I'm doing my work. I have a new book that I'm working on, so I'm very excited about that. If you want to pick up any of my existing work, you can purchase Soiled Sheets as well as In Her Makeup, both on Amazon as well as Kindle. My book, Long Neck Bottles, which is motivational if you're going through the trenches yourself, if you're on a journey of healing, if you're on a journey of pursuing your passion. It is your guide. It is your pocket guide. It's your friend. I'm there with you. I'm rooting you on. That's Long Neck Bottles. It's available on Amazon, Kindle, as well as Audible. Yay. So all my books are free with Kindle Unlimited. So if you have Kindle Unlimited, press the button, get the books. If you want to try Audible for the first time, Long Neck Bottles is free that way as well. So that's always great. Free is always good. And it gives lots of stuff. So I hope that you will partake in that. Anyway, so I got to get into today's show. So you know that I pick up whatever was my theme for the week or conversations that I've been having over the past week that I feel like there's a pattern and I'm seeing a lot of. So what was on my mind was forgiveness. And I really started to think about, like, how do you know if you've forgiven someone? Like, someone asked me if I forgave someone from my past, and I wasn't sure because, like, I come from a household where I'm taught avoidance, right? You don't want to deal with something, you just avoid it. You don't want to deal with someone, you don't deal with them. So I don't know if there's a practice of forgiveness. And when I first became active in my spiritual life, forgiveness, of course, was like this big thing, and it's so imperative that you forgive people of your past. It's so imperative that you forgive yourself. And yes, I know forgiving yourself is so difficult. Whereas there are things that I feel like I've forgiven myself for, but the people in my life that have hurt me or have put me through emotional trauma or who have used my pain against me or who have manipulated my situation to their advantage or reversed my emotion and took it on as theirs, whatever, all that kind of stuff. The people who have put their hands on my face. Yes, someone was whipping my tail at one point, but like, I don't know if I've forgiven. I don't know. I think I kind of prefer avoidance at this point. I just be like, all right, I'm gonna put that to bed. Like certain people, like they're not in my life and probably never will be ever again. There's no situation that I could really think of that will cause these people to be in my life. We have grown apart. We've gone separate ways. Our lives are totally different. I know you never know, but in general, I feel these people will not have repeat guest appearances. They won't come back. So I don't know if there's something in me that feels like forgiveness is not really necessary. I know I'm not pissed off at them. If I were to see them, I don't feel like I want to jump out the car and scratch their eyes out. I don't feel like that. It's weird because I think as a woman, a lot of times, particularly when we're younger, right? When we're kids and, someone has an offense and they say, oh, you got to forgive them. They said sorry or whatever. But then like our parents try to sort of rejoin the friendship or rejoin the communication. And sometimes those are worth it. You have friends that you fall out with. And we talked about this a couple of episodes back. You have friends you fall out with. People always put me on ice. And, some people be like, why are you accepting this person back in your life or whatever? And for me, it's because I didn't feel any certain way. I felt like this person had an issue. It wasn't my issue. So when they get over that issue and they want to come back, I'm not going to make an issue of the fact that you had an issue. Like, that's just not me. So it was me at one point. But as I got older and more mature, it just became too much effort it was too complex to think all of that through. So being pissed at someone because they were pissed doesn't really seem to make sense to me. So anyway, when I think about forgiveness, I don't know. Have I forgiven certain people? I think when I think about things that have happened to me or have influenced my heart or influenced my life that weren't necessarily the best for me or the healthiest for me, particularly as a child when you're so impressionable and who you are is being molded at that time. I get pissed off when I think about situations that I was in because when I step out of myself, I'm thinking like, why would you do that to a child? Or why would you put a child in that situation? Or even as a young adult, even as someone's girlfriend or whatever, why would you put someone in a situation to hurt them? Why? And then why do you hurt them continuously and repetitiously? Why would you do that? So that upsets me, but I think that is more of how I feel about mankind. I don't want us to hurt each other. I want us to love each other. I want us to lift each other up. And I know it's very idealistic. I get that. I know it's not necessarily the world that we live in. However, it doesn't mean that I'm going to stop striving for that. I want us to speak positively, hold each other up, talk life into each other. I want us to support each other's business endeavors, figure out how we can help or who we can connect each other to. I want all of that because I think it makes all of us feel good and it gives, ever see like, if you think about girlfriends or guy friends where you have all of you are in a good place, whether it was in high school or you're there now, all of you are in a good place. All of you are happy. You're laughing and you share each other's pain when there is, but because you have each other, it doesn't last. So when you walk through as a group, there's like this air of just spunk and happiness and pride and chins held high and, and people are attracted to you and people want to get into your circle. People want to help you. They want to invest in your business. They want to help you get going. And, when I was a kid, I was like, how do I become part of that? Because I feel like I don't attract that. And part of it was because I had been taught to basically view everyone as trying to hurt me or attack me. I laugh now, but yeah, it sucks. And then I went through a period where I was taught that certain friendships or relationships weren't working because there was something wrong with me. So if you had a relationship with me and it wasn't working, you could have been beating on me, or you could have been cussing me out on a daily basis. You could have cheated. You could have whatever you did. But it was like, I know dealing with her is difficult. It's just like, what? But anyhow, I feel like as I got older, there's certain things that I moved past. And yes, there are certain things that I'm sure that I'm over because I don't know what is the thing. What is the determination? Everyone thinks they have a recipe or a remedy. They have some sort of formula, solution to understanding what it means to forgive, what signs you see within yourself, what signs you see within your mentality or in your heart, or even how your body reacts, whether you've forgiven someone else. And I think for me, I've always struggled with forgiveness, always. Either I'm unforgiving or I'm too forgiving. I don't feel like I really have a middle ground. One or the other. And when I say too forgiving, I'm either giving forgiveness too quickly or I'm restoring access too quickly or too often. So you have a slight, it hurts deep. And I don't know that I'm restoring access too quickly until the next slight. And then I realize how close together the slights are. And I go, I did say I was going to fall back. Why I didn't fall back? Why I didn't stay back here for a while? Give it time, give it space. So I'm learning. I think I've gotten better over the years because there's certain friendships that have regrouped that I'm not going to jump back into being the same. I'm not. I'm going to care about you. I'm going to care about your kids. I'm going to care about how you progress. I'm going to care about your career and all of that. And so you may not even know that I'm not jumping back into the same. Now, there's some people who's like, well, then you didn't forgive them. And I'm like, I don't know. That's the part. It's sort of like when you're a child, you're taught that forgiveness is also the restoration of access. And as an adult, you understand that one does not equal the other. That I can forgive you without giving you access to repeat the act or without giving you access to hurt me again. And then there's a message that if you are afraid of getting your heart broken again, that you haven't healed. And it's like, well, it's not necessarily that I'm afraid. I'm just protecting it. Well, I'm going to just keep putting it out there. Or if I'm going to get it hurt, let somebody new hurt it. Give somebody else a chance. Okay. You've had your 3 shots where you've cracked. And it's like, okay, let somebody else get a chance to piss me off or hurt me or whatever, because it's too much coming from the same source. This too much. And I think that's how you build resentment and how you build, discord that goes, on for years and years and years. So I don't know. There were things, and I feel like I don't ask myself this question very often, which is probably why I don't have an answer. I don't know. I don't know if I've forgiven people. I'm not sure if people have forgiven me for some stuff that I've done, whether I've apologized, tried to move on, tried to make up for it in other ways. That's why it's best not to hurt each other, right? So you don't have to keep trying to figure out how to get someone to forgive you. But I really don't know. More so because, and this might be why I don't have a middle ground, because I don't necessarily tie people to the act that hurt me. Does that make sense? I don't know. I don't necessarily tie. So what you did was effed up, but I don't necessarily consider you a effed up person. So I either will forgive you and let you F up again, or I will avoid you and just be like, that's too much. It's too complex. It's too heavy. I had to do too much work to heal from that. I had to do too much work to walk my mind through that. So I'm going to put you on ice because I don't know if I'm going to be back. So I don't know. I have stayed away from assessing the trauma and pain through my life as something that I've had more than my share. And now that I'm getting older, I feel, I guess, like it's okay to acknowledge that I have had more than my share. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, have I? A lot of us have had pain. I think any pain is too much. It's more than your share. It's too much. Between grief and people trying to hurt you or manipulate you or talk down to you or pick at you, it's too much. And I've gone through some stuff that was back to back to back, but I'm still standing. So to some degree, I'm like, well, if it got to happen to anybody, I guess it got to happen to me because I can handle it. I'm still standing. I'm still trucking. I'm still rooting for you. I'm still investing in your goal. I'm still buying your book. I'm still going to your conference. I'm probably not going to click on the webinar though, because I've gotten caught too many times with that. Don't trust the Facebook ad. But I'm still want the best for you. So I don't know. I really don't know. I thought it was an interesting question for them to ask because I think that it may appear that I have not moved on from certain things, which I probably haven't. But when you've spent a lifetime of not speaking to what it is that is boiling inside of you or growing inside of you or burning inside of you, like tearing things down inside of you and influencing how you deal with other people and forcing miscommunication and, blurring your vision and just confusing you all over the place when you don't speak to it, when you don't acknowledge it and you don't try to heal from it or grow from it. And then you get to a place after years and years and years, you get to a place of finally like speaking it. It's going to seem like, wow, this person's really all of a sudden like really pissed off about their whole life and they're very upset. And oh my gosh, I had no idea that this person had not healed from all of this. And, it may seem like this person is just going through like a total meltdown. Luckily, I have you guys because I can talk through with you guys and you can know I'm really not melting down. I'm really just rebuilding. I'm stacking my bricks. I'm reforming who it is that I am. But, of course, the thought of forgiveness has to come across. I mean, do you forgive people who hurt you or have put you in wild situations? It's so crazy because I feel like I don't know if men necessarily feel the same way a lot of women do, whereas we are forced to take responsibility more so than men, I believe, for the situations that we've been in. So when we're in an abusive relationship, when someone is, giving us a tongue lashing, punching us in our face, or if we're being raped, if we're being violated in whatever way, as a woman, we're taught to take some ownness of it. It doesn't matter that this person is totally wrong for violating you. As a woman, you're taught to take some responsibility, whether it be mindful of the way you dress or, you stayed in that relationship. So you must have been okay with that abuse. You accepted it the first time. You had to know it was going to happen the second time. You forgave him after he cheated. What did you think was going to happen? You didn't think he was going to cheat again. He's a serial cheater. He cheated before, so this kid on the side shouldn't surprise you. Whatever. All those types of violations, we're taught to take onus. And then on top of it, to be a Black woman, because Black people are also taught, Black people in general as a race are taught to take some onus of situations that they're put in. Like, the cop shot you, you shouldn't have been speeding. The cop shot you, you shouldn't have been on the corner with cigarettes. The cop shot you, you shouldn't have ran when they told you to free. Like, everything you shouldn't have done to not be violated. So it's very difficult to understand forgiveness, in my opinion, for me, because I'm struggling with knowing that I don't have to take onus of all the violations someone has imposed upon me. That I don't have to. My uncle was just mean and said wild things. Well, you shouldn't have been a smart mouth kid. Like, what? I was a kid. He's an adult. Like, what? So just different things like that. So trying to separate the fact that I don't have to take onus for the fact that you violated me. So it's taking me time to be fully angry at whomever has violated me, because I'm still struggling trying to take myself out of it, because I've been taught to think of what I did to bring this situation about. What did I do to bring this thing into my life? And when you're taught that, I think a lot of us don't have a middle ground in terms of forgiveness, or we're learning how to create that middle ground or how to be more forgiving in a healthy way. That forgiveness doesn't necessarily mean restoration of access. Forgiveness doesn't necessarily mean that when you think about what happened in the past, that it doesn't hurt you. Because for me, it hurts me just to know that that's a sad situation. If I saw, not necessarily because it's you and me, but if I saw the situation being repeated amongst other people, that would make me sad too. It makes me sad when people don't treat each other well. That makes me sad. When people don't speak well of each other or try to lift each other up or look for a way to give a dig, that makes me sad too. So I don't know how to disconnect and know whether I've actually forgiven someone, because the act itself would always make me upset. And so someone would say, well, if you think about this particular thing and it makes you feel some certain way, then you haven't forgiven them. I'm like, I don't know if that's necessarily true. I don't feel some certain way about that person. I really don't. But at the same time, I don't need to accept your friend requests. At the same time, I don't need to hug you when I see you. I don't. Because to me, that's restoration of access. That's different from forgiveness. So I don't know. I feel like I'm going to do some type of studying and read up on some things. I will probably have to look at materials from several different religions, several different spiritual guides or whatever, to try to form whatever opinion I will have on forgiveness. Because there was a time, like I said, that I was like, forgiveness has to happen. And I think I've really worked on forgiving myself for a lot of things. I may not be completely free, but I've worked on forgiving myself. And it seems to me that I thought that was the harder thing to do. And I'm like, maybe it's not, because maybe I don't really have a full understanding of what it means to forgive someone else. So many people have so many different definitions of what it means and of where you'll be within yourself when you finally do forgive someone, that I'm kind of like, I don't know. Or when people put me on ice and we start speaking again, and it's looked at, oh, you forgave them, you're fine, you're happy, you're kissing them, you're like, hello, whatever. And maybe I did, but at the same time, for me, it's mostly because I didn't take the offense personally. I stopped it at a certain place. I decided it was an issue that you were having. You didn't necessarily want to resolve with me. You needed to resolve it on your own, and then you came back and regroup. So I don't necessarily think there's really something to forgive. The fact that you stopped speaking to me and, you went on your way, you took time. People deserve time to themselves. People deserve time to think their own thoughts through. And, I may or may not be here when you get back. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if that's necessarily forgiveness, or because I didn't take the slight too deeply. Like it was kind of like, I think it's a slight, but maybe not. Maybe they're going to work on something. I don't know. So it's a fair question. It was a heavy question for me, because it made me think of all these situations, relationships, friendships, and I was not clear if I've forgiven anybody. Or maybe I've forgiven everyone because I'm not holding any grudges. You don't have access, but it doesn't mean that I hate you. It doesn't mean that I don't wish you well. I love to see people doing well. I love to see you're married, you're happy, you got kids, they look happy. It's wonderful. You're doing great in your career. That's awesome. Keep it up. Keep it up. I don't feel slighted by your success. I don't feel slighted by your happiness. I don't wish a Mack truck to hit you. I don't wish you to go down in burning flames on a flight to vacation. I don't. So maybe that is forgiveness. Maybe I've forgiven everyone. I don't know. Have you forgiven? How do you feel about forgiveness? Talk to me. Let me know. Maybe you got some tips. Maybe you got some good guidelines. Maybe you got a recommendation for me to read something that may help me understand. Please get at me. I'm at P Writes on Twitter, as well as at P Writes on Instagram. Again, if you want to purchase any of the books, they're available on Amazon as well as Kindle. Soiled Sheets is the newest one right now. So, get caught up. In Her Makeup is also a novel available on Amazon and Kindle. Get caught up. I'm telling you, I got a bunch of stuff for you. Stuff to make you laugh, stuff to make you think, stuff to make your heart ache, stuff to make you fall in love. Get caught up. Thank you so much for supporting me. If there is any way that I could support you, please let me know. Again, get at me at P Writes on Twitter, as well as at P Writes on Instagram. Until next week when we could do lunch. Peace.